the CEO and president of Sokoman Minerals. We're going to discuss the news release that Sokoman made on Thursday of this week regarding their Crippleback property in central Newfoundland. Now, everybody knows about Sokoman. They're the discovery company in Newfoundland. They discovered the high-grade gold. They discovered lithium, and we now think they're on the discovery of an entirely different form of deposit that hasn't been seen in Newfoundland before. So if you would, Tim, tell us a story about Crippleback. I understand the property's been in inventory with you for a while, and you're finally getting active on it. Tell us about the geography and geology, if you could, please.
Well, thank you so much, Steve, for the kind words. And yeah, well, it's finally good to be able to broadcast what we have at Crippleback. And you're correct. It is a property that we've had in our portfolio for a number of years. In fact, it even predates the Moosehead property. But obviously, when we drilled our first hole at Moosehead, it kind of took over everything, and a bunch of things got kind of put on the side burner. But it's always been a property that I've liked for many reasons. It was initially staked because of its geological similarity, plus its location on the Valentine Lake Shear Zone. And as we know, Equinox Gold are about to open up Atlantic Canada's largest gold mine at Valentine Lake, which sits about 70 kilometers southwest of the Crippleback property. In fact, Crippleback sits nearly exactly midway between our own 100% owned Moosehead property and Valentine Lake. But the key geological features are that it actually straddles that shear zone that hosts Valentine Lake, and we believe Moosehead as well. But as well, the actual local geology there is very similar in its setting to Valentine Lake. It's got the same Neoproterozoic aged quartz monzonite body that's butting up against a major regional structure, which is modified by or manifested now with the Froude Lake conglomerate that runs right commonality between Crippleback and Valentine. And as well, it also sits just a short distance away, in fact, less than 15 kilometers away from the recently closed Teck Resources Duck Pond VMS copper zinc mine. So it's geologically, it's in a very interesting area. And again, we staked it mainly for its similarity to Valentine Lake. So yeah, we started picking away at it in about 2016, and off and on over the years, up until we got, of course, busy with Moosehead. We focused mainly on the structure itself, the Valentine Lake structure, looking for basically intrusion-hosted, shear-related gold deposits. Fast forwarding to 2023, new logging activity on the northern edge of the property uncovered previously unrecognized copper mineralization in the roadbed, which we had no idea existed. So we went into action and quickly realized that there were several copper plus or minus zinc, silver, fluorite, again the intrusion kind of commonality coming in here, type of mineralization, but it wasn't anything that we were there looking for initially. It didn't seem like it was a Valentine Lake setting. It didn't look like the rocks certainly didn't look like they were, typical of a VMS type system. So the next logical case, of course, would be a porphyry stock thing. So we engaged Dr. Stephen Piercy of Piercy Geoscience, and also a professor at Memorial University and a leading expert in hydrothermal ore deposits, to have a look at some of our drill holes that we completed in late 2024. And he basically said, Tim, he said, I agree with you. I think that what you're looking at here is the edges of a system that has a lot of earmarks, hallmarks, geochemically, obviously geologically, of a porphyry type setting. And that was music to my ears, of course. So we've engaged as well workers at the Newfoundland Department of Mines to performed terraspec surveys over selected portions of core, and again, the alteration assemblage seems more directly linkable to a porphyry system than a VMS system. So with the press release yesterday, basically, the numbers certainly won't jump out of the page at you and grab your attention in terms of their grades. But given where we think we are in the system, Steve, these are very respectable numbers and very encouraging. So yes, we do believe we have a tiger by the tail here, and that the path forward is now what we need to focus on, and that's how do we vector into areas where there's, obviously the core of the mineralization. To that end, we've actually just started in the past week a geophysical survey, an IP survey, basically covering the area that we know has this extensive alteration, and that we'll basically hope that we get some drillable targets at the end of the day.
Okay, great. And you're working with Dr. Piercy. He's at the university there in Newfoundland and a world-class expert in these kind of deposits.
Yeah.
Hoping if he's
well, actually, Steve is a gentleman and very easy guy to get along with. Thankfully, because I bugged him last Christmas. I think it was December 23rd. Believe it or not, 2 days before Christmas. I actually convinced him to get in a truck with me and drive the 4 hours to central Newfoundland, and we had a day looking at some core, and that's when he realized and basically agreed that this is not VMS type alteration. So, but Dr. Piercy's word really does carry a lot of weight, and we were very pleased to have him to get him engaged with this project, and actually to get him to obviously commit to stating that this does look real, and it's an exciting new target, obviously for central Newfoundland. Something that Newfoundland is not really known for are its porphyry deposits. These are generally things that you get out west in the mountain belts and the Cordillera. But don't forget, Newfoundland was once an ancient mountain belt too. Yeah. It just happens to be a little bit older than the ones out there, so a little more smoothed off and rounded, and a little harder to find when it's not sticking out to the side of a cliff somewhere at 3,000 meters. But anyway, I'll take what we have.
Okay. Anyway, we're certainly excited about what you've got going on there. What's the next step? Where are we going?
Well, as I mentioned, budgets are kind of tight, like with everybody these days. So we're milking our dollars quite effectively. But right now, the next step is to complete an expanded geophysical survey, IP survey at Crippleback, basically encompassing the area where we did drill. And I'll talk a little bit more about the drill holes in a second with regards to the press release. But right now we're actually completing, I think we have 4 lines of 20 odd lines, I think almost 30 line kilometers, 25 to 30 line kilometers of IP at 100 meter spacings, basically over the area where we know we have alteration, strong alteration, to see if that will point us in any direction, or possibly even maybe that we need to do an even more robust survey at some point, maybe a large scale MT survey, because you only get a couple chances to make a first impression sometimes, and we want to do things right here at Crippleback, and certainly we don't want to rush into something and end up not doing the right thing, sort of thing, in the proper steps. And again, porphyry exploration is something fairly new for me, so I'm on a very steep learning curve, and I'm even worse with geophysics. So I'm a geologist, not a geophysicist, with all due respect to the geophysicists out there. But so once we get that done, we'll basically incorporate it. We know what the drilling data we have and the geochemistry we have to see if there are vectors that are telling us, okay, yeah, you need to go this way, or you need to go over that way. You need to go deeper, sort of thing. And whether the deeper will be with a more deeper seeking geophysical survey, or if we'll have, definitive, high grade targets, right at the outset, that remains to be seen. But we're going to keep our powder dry, and obviously we have our other projects to think about as well. But again, to just getting back to the drilling, 3 or 4 of the holes, basically collared and stayed in continuous alteration for their entire lengths. Now, these are relatively short holes when you're talking about, porphyry deposits. I mean, people commonly drill, 1,000, 1,500 meter drill holes looking for porphyries, but that's in established belts. This is new. So, I mean, we don't know if we got to move to the left, to the right, look down, hopefully not look up, because, obviously it won't be there. But, the results yesterday, I think people might look at them and say, there's really nothing here to get excited about. But when you consider, and I think this is the point, this is probably the most important point, we're still in the alteration. We're not in the ore zone. I mean, the ore zone could be anywhere from a couple of 100 meters to, several hundred meters away or even further. But the fact that we're getting this much, metal enrichment and almost continuous gold values, they're not high, Steve, but, when you can look at pages and pages of assay data and you can't see a less than 5 in there, that's good when you're looking for gold, right? Obviously, you'd like to see higher, and we do see spikes. I mean, we do get up to a gram in places. So, I mean, I think I think yesterday was a fabulous release. Yeah. And like I said, I didn't expect the market to, jump for joy on it and drive our stock, at 10 cents or whatever. But, this is a signal as well. I think that I think we're in the right environment, and hopefully that people that know and understand these systems will see it for what it is, as an excellent opportunity at an early stage, and we'll welcome anyone that would want to partner with us. I am saying that publicly because obviously we need funds, and a company, a mid-tier company or a larger company with funds, we'd like to have them on board here and help us figure this thing out. But all indications are that we're in the right environment for a significant new deposit type for the province. And again, we've got a lot of the boxes checked already. We've got a lot of metal in the ground, it seems. We've got the right types of alterations. The rocks are also, the right type of rocks. These quartz monzonites are typically the rock types that you would get. Not the only rock type, but, they are very commonly associated with porphyry deposits elsewhere in the world. And so we've got a lot of things going for us, including 2 thumbs up from, a world's expert in Dr. Stephen Piercy. So that makes me very happy.
Okay, Tim. Well, thank you for your time. Just stop right now and let you get back to work. So